Hey there, Al Iverson here. It's time for another one of your email authentication and deliverability questions answered. This time around, I'm going to talk about why DMARC records shouldn't contain references to example domains, like, for example, example.com. Now, specifically, what I'm going to do today is have a little bit of fun with some bad data. I'm going to talk about errors in your DMARC reporting address. That's the aggregate reporting address. That's the RUA or RUA tag in a DMARC record. I'll give you an example, a few examples of the most common bad reporting domains that I see. I'm sure there's more out there, and if you know of other ones that are broadly misconfigured into DMARC reporting, in DMARC records, let me know in comments. I'd love to learn more about what you're seeing. But I'll share my common example domains, the ones that I know about, and hopefully that'll help enlighten you if you're looking to set up your own DMARC record or you're helping other people validate or configure their own DMARC records. Let me walk you through why these specific example domains should never appear in DMARC records. Now let's start with a good example of a DMARC record. Here's the one for validmail.com. As you might know, that would be a text record for _DMARC.validmail.com. Some people will have it implemented as a CNAME record or an NS record, depending on how a platform that you might be working with handles that configuration. But the final output there, what mailbox providers are looking at to know what to do and where to send reports, they're looking for a text record. The text record has some text in it like this that starts with V equals DMARC1. It's got the P equals policy there, and then it's got the RUA tag, the reporting address. This is for aggregate reporting. So this record says that aggregate reports should be sent to that special address at ValidMail. We take all that in, we ingest all of those DMARC reports for that domain, for all of the different domains that us and our clients utilize. We ingest all that data, take that and process that, those XML files that come in via email, and we turn that into reporting with a cool map to show you geographically where mail's coming from. We break it down into mail sources to show you the different senders, the different sending sources of email for your domain, and help you identify, is everything authenticated properly, and who's out there phishing and spoofing your email domains across the world. Example domains are what I wanted to touch on specifically. Anytime you see one of these in a DMARC record, that DMARC record has an error in it because people commonly copy and paste exact copies of example configurations from different instructional web pages that tell you how to set up DMARC. And when you do that, things can go wrong. Reports are not going to go where you want. Specifically, there are 3 commonly used example domains that people end up including in their DMARC records because of this. And that's these 3 right here. That first one there is example.com. That's actually owned by a guy who wrote Internet for Dummies. His name is John Levine. He's got a great little, very simple webpage that says, hey, it's safe to use this domain in examples, whether that be example codes, example instructions, etc. It's meant to be used by the Internet at large as an example domain. Now, Microsoft and Google have their own versions of example domains as well. Microsoft has contoso.com. So if you go to Microsoft 365, you look at their DKIM or DMARC configuration pages, anytime where they sort of generically talk about the configuration for a domain without naming your specific domain, right? If you're reading the help guide, it's not going to be personalized necessarily with your domain in when you're looking at a static help page bit of text. They use this example domain, contoso.com. So anytime you see contoso.com in there, that's a Microsoft example domain. Similarly, Google has one called solarmora.com. And solarmora.com, it's the same deal as contoso.com, except it's for Google. When you look up in Google Workspace how to configure DKIM or DMARC for a domain, the example instructions in the help pages for Google Workspace are going to similarly reference this example imagined domain, the solarmora.com. So anytime you see any 3 of these domains, any of these domains in a DMARC record as the reporting destination where it most commonly will show up, you know that DMARC record has an error in it. None of these domains are able or configured have nothing to do with DMARC reporting. They're not accepting DMARC reports. They're not accepting mail at all. They're not specifically legitimate destinations for DMARC reports to go to. How often does this happen? In my data, not a ton, but I'm looking at the top 10 million domains, and it's weighted towards the more popular end. One would hope that it's safe to assume that the more popular end is more likely to have a correct configuration there. So there's probably a lot more of these out there that I just don't see in my data set. Sometimes it's fun to download the whole, 170 million plus .com domains and scour that, but that takes a little bit of time, and I don't have that handy for us. So I'm just looking at the top 10 million domains here, and you can see there's a lot of those examples out there. There's nearly 1,000 domains that have example.com as their reporting address. Again, that means that they're misconfigured. There's only a handful of domains that have contoso.com as their example configuration domain in the DMARC reporting, but they're out there. And again, those domains are misconfigured. And then there's also, a few hundred of the solarmora.com domains in DMARC records in the top 10 million data set as well. Again, anytime you see any of the three of those in your DMARC record, in any DMARC record for a domain, that DMARC record has an error in it. Similarly, now look, by the spec, this is not an error. It's okay to set up DMARC without reporting, but I don't think it's very wise to do so. There are a lot of domains out here, more than 1 million in the top 10 million. That's more than 10% of them, right, that don't have reporting configured. That means that you don't know if all of your sending services are configured correctly, everything is authenticating properly. You don't know who's phishing, spoofing, who's out there in the world trying to pretend to be you as they send email, trying to use your email domain in email sends from whatever good service or bad service a bad actor or a good vendor partner might be using. DMARC reporting is where you get that visibility from. So if you configure DMARC without reporting, like more than 1 million of these domains have done here, you're not getting visibility into any of that. That's it for today. Just a simple peek, slicing and dicing the 10 million domains data in a different way. Thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions about email authentication, DMARC, email deliverability, anything that you think might make a fun follow-up video, please drop me a line at al.iverson@valamail.com. And don't forget to visit our website at valamail.com when you're ready to begin that DMARC journey. We're here and happy to help. Thanks. Have a great day.